ground, man.
Well, I think so proud of Mitchell tonight because he, the first inning he hits a guy, walks a guy. Both those guys score just like it happens with big innings. The walk and the hit batsman always seem to score, but just put it in the rearview mirror, and he really pitched well after that. He had to pitch out of a couple of jams, but really challenged the strike zone. A little more fly ball today than it was a week ago, but certainly did a great job for us, and we situationally hit well enough to push some runs across. The walk really helped us tonight offensively, the HBP, and when you're talking about the HBP, certainly Heck is somebody that just comes to mind. He seems to do whatever the game demands at that moment, whether it's defensively or offensively. Really proud of what he's doing. He gets the big HBP to move runners to get to first base, and then he hits that double down the left field line when we really needed it. So I think our team's really working well together. Even guys aren't getting hits or putting good swings on the ball or having good at bats for the most part. Had great situational tonight. Armstrong hits a fly ball to score the run situationally, and Detsy comes up and hits that big double late to help us push another run across. So really proud of our kids. They're playing a good club. They're playing a club that have won 15 series in a row in the SEC, which is incredible in and of itself. 15 consecutive SEC series going back to 2012. I know you guys know all that, but it's not a secret. We did not play well at Vanderbilt a year ago, and I think our guys really wanted. This is a date they marked on their calendar and said we want to play well against Vanderbilt. We have just not shown them really who we are, and not played well against this club. So I think that's important to them as well.
You expected them to come out swinging, and they did in that first inning with the first two runs. Does it kind of speak to the maturity of your club now to take that first punch and then come back and get those runs back and get back in the lead?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they came out swinging. I think they came out, really doing a good job with the strike zone and holding their ground, getting the HBP in the walk. I wish they'd have been swinging early because that might have helped us. But you're right, we got punched in the face a little early, and I think the maturity of our older guys, especially Ross, who was a fourth-year junior, and he just put it in the rearview mirror and said, I'm going to do what I do best now. And this wasn't his sharpest performance, but certainly it was pretty darn good, and we thought he did a great job.
When you take the temperature of the dugout, John, is it the same mentality when Preston and Ross take the hill than when you had a Chris Stratton and a Kendall Graveman type? Is that the same kind of mentality?
I think there's some of that, sure. Especially your infielders. Your infielders, I've said this a million times, you guys are probably tired of it, but they're engaged. When you know a guy's going to get you great opportunities to make plays. And by the way, what an unbelievable play by Matthew Britton down the third base line. Great play right there. That's when you're going to make great plays, is when those guys know that you're going to give them lots of opportunities. And that's what Ross Mitchell has done, and certainly what Brownie did yesterday.
What's different about this team, say now, compared to a couple weeks ago when you went to Arizona?
Well, I think the first thing is, it's hard to get continuity, and kids are wondering, what are the roles? You started six outfielders, you started a ton of different guys on the mound, Jonathan Holder's fingers bothering him, what's going on? We just kept staying the course. I wanted to find out as much about our club. We started 3 different shortstops. We started 6 different outfielders. We started 3 different catchers. I don't know if there's a Division I team in America that has used those combinations, and we did it with purpose because every one of those kids deserved opportunities to show what they could do early, and now I think there's some continuity, and I think that's helped our club grow a little bit.
Talk about the confidence offensively, putting up 23 runs in 2 games, and this is one of the elite staffs in the country. A really, really impressive team. You mentioned they've won 15 series in a row.
Certainly, they're a very good club. They're a very good defensive club. They just, so far, they've had a tough weekend, and that just happens. And Tim lost a lot of key components off his club last year. These guys are going to be really good. Man, little leadoff guy is going to be a great player, but he's a freshman. They have some really good components. You can see it, and they're going to grow. But I just don't want them to grow tomorrow. They can grow after that. But you can see that, the last kid that came in was a freshman, had a great breaking ball. So they're going to be a great club. But, I think our kids felt like this is our turn, against a really good Vanderbilt team. Again, tomorrow's a new day. We still, we got to come out and compete, and Trevor's got to go out there and really shove it in the strike zone, allow us to defend again, and I think that's really important to our club.
They were at,
Comfortable with the left side of that infield with Britton and Heck over there.
Yeah, especially if we're going to have our sinker ball guys in it. When you have guys who are more fly ball or more swing and miss, I think you can do some different things at third base. But when you got that many right-handers and you got a sinker ball guy like Ross, and you know that the ball's going to get to third base and to the left side a whole lot, you really, in our ballpark especially, you got to put you got to put your best defense out there.
there was a point where they were up 2-0, John, and you wanted to get a sac bunt down, and they just didn't want that to happen, and they were up 2-0. When you play them, I know you respect him a lot, but is it just a mental meat grinder when you play them and just on every pitch?
Yeah, of course. But honestly, man, I feel that way against almost everybody we play against in this league because it's just, it's a chess match. Nobody's going to step up and hit the 3-run homer. At least with any consistency, you just got to play the little game. You got to move guys. You got to situationally hit, and you cannot give guys free bases. You can't walk them. You can't hit them because like in our first inning, you just can't put yourself in that situation. I thought we did a really good job of that offensively today, putting them in a position. I don't know how many walks we had. We have 8 walks. Yeah, we had 8 walks, and I think we had 2 HVPs. So, that's 10 base runners that our kids are really grinding out.